Right in the heart of London, Fallow Restaurant has established a strong reputation for embracing sustainability and minimal waste while serving up some amazing quality and incredibly innovative dishes. Today, I'm having a go at recreating one of their staple menu items, corn ribs. I'll be trying to decipher their secret blend of signature seasonings and adapting the techniques that they demonstrate on their YouTube channel to something that's a little bit more practical in the home kitchen. If you can't get yourself to London to check them out, or, like me, you can't afford £8.50 for a light snack, then this is the video for you. Let's get adventurous. Fallow use a special Kombu seasoning in a lot of their dishes, including these corn ribs, and figuring out this seasoning mix is the real key to this recipe, but we'll get to that later in the video. Right now, let's prepare some corn. For one generous serving, I'm starting with 2 cobs of corn. Or is that 2 ears of corn? Cobs? Ears. Thingamajigs. 2 thingamajigs of corn. And the first step in preparation is just to rip off the outer leaves and remove the hairy silt from inside. Next comes a little bit of knife work. Nothing too complicated, but it might require a little bit of brute strength. We're going to be chopping right through the center of the corn, which can be quite hard. So I'm not going to use my good Japanese knife for this. The hard Japanese steel is great for keeping a sharp edge, but it can be a little bit brittle. This European style knife is still nice and sharp, but the steel is a little bit more flexible and should handle the rough treatment. For the first cut, we're just chopping each piece of corn in half. I like to start with a gentle rocking motion, making sure my fingers are well out of the way of the knife, and then once the knife hits the hard bit in the center, giving the back of the knife a good whack with the palm of my hand. Again, being sure to keep my hand very flat to keep my fingers well out of the way of the blade. Then to cut them in half lengthways, I'm standing them up on one of the flat ends and getting my knife into position. I like to balance it more towards the heel of the knife, as I feel like this gives me a little bit more control as I work the knife up and down. Again, I like to start this off slowly, just working the knife handle up and down and guiding the blade slowly through the corn. And once I've cut through to about the height of the knife blade, again I'll just gently tap on the back of the knife with the palm of my hand until it slices through the rest of the way. And then just repeat that with the remaining pieces. And then to get them into rib shapes that are just perfect for nibbling on, we'll halve each one again so that they're in quarters. Now this one can be a little bit tricky as they kind of want to wobble around a bit. You can flip them over so that they cut side down. This makes them a lot more stable, but I find having them this way around makes it easier to line up the knife directly with the very center of the cob to make sure that when it's cut, you get a nice even piece of cob the whole way along to hang on to while you eat your corn. Then repeat that step until everything's in quarters. And then I'm placing all of those corn ribs into a clean bowl so that they're ready for the next step, and then putting those aside while I make this secret signature seasoning. Now the lads at Fallow do let us know what the main ingredients are in their video, but what they don't let us know is the ratios. So that's what I'm going to try and work out today. So I'm starting with some kombu. This is a particular type of kelp seaweed. It's naturally rich in glutamates, which means it lends a really deep, savoury flavour. Some people even refer to it as natural MSG. It's a really common flavour base in a lot of Japanese cooking, and today it's going to be the flavour base for our spice mix. This packet of dehydrated kombu weighs about 40 grams. If you're finding that kombu is a little bit too hard to get your hands on, I'll leave some suggestions for alternative substitutions down in the video description. So this is what kombu looks like fresh out of the packet, so you can see it's a little bit leathery, and that's probably not great if we're trying to grind it into a powder. So we'll need to give it a light toasting. We're not looking to get much colour on it, we're really just trying to crisp it up. You could toast this in a pan, but to make sure that we get a nice even heat, I'm going to do it under the broiler, and it shouldn't take very long at all until it's nice and crispy. Then that's going in the blender, ready for grinding. And this is the next secret ingredient. It's the leftover pulp from making homemade sriracha. Fallow make their own sriracha in-house, which is strained to make it ultra smooth, and then to reduce food waste, the bits that get strained out are dehydrated and ground into a really flavorful, spicy powder. So here I've got the leftovers from my most recent batch of sriracha. This is a beautiful yellow sriracha fermented in fish sauce. If you're interested in that video, I'll leave a link here and in the description below. This makes a beautifully flavorful spice powder, but if you're not quite keen enough to make your own sriracha, you can substitute this with a roughly equal amount of cayenne pepper. All up, I'm adding about 10 grams of this dehydrated sriracha paste. Next, I'm going to put a saucepan over a low heat to toast some whole spices. Once the pan is warm, I'm adding 5 grams of black peppercorns, 7 grams of coriander seed, and 7 grams of cumin seeds. And I'm just going to keep the pan moving frequently as these warm up. I'm just giving them a light toast to take off the raw edge, stopping as soon as they become fragrant. Then they're going in with the rest of the spices, followed by some ground spices. Here we've got 20 grams of smoked paprika, then 5 grams of onion powder, 5 grams of garlic powder, and 5 grams of MSG. And lastly, I'm going in with 10 grams of table salt. And then we blend that into a fine powder. And that smells really nice. Let's have a little taste. And it tastes pretty darn good too. I've not tried the original, so I'm not sure how close it is, but it's definitely got a deep and complex savoury flavour from the kombu, a tangy, spicy complexity from the dried sriracha, a nice little kick of heat, and some lovely complementary flavours from the other spices. Now in the restaurant, these get deep fried, and while that will probably give you the best result, it's not always super practical at home. I think a nice hot oven or a broiler does a pretty good job. If you've got an air fryer, that'd do a really good job too. So to prepare these for cooking, I'm giving them a toss in a generous amount of a neutral flavoured oil. You want to use a fairly generous amount here. There needs to be enough to make sure that all the seasoning sticks, and I think the oil, blending with the seasoning as it cooks, helps to bring out the flavour even further. Once everything's nice and coated in the oil, add in a generous amount of the spice mix. I don't measure this, I just do it by eye. Just keep sprinkling and tossing until everything looks like it's got a nice tasty coating. Here I've got a foil lined baking sheet upon which I'm spacing out the corn ribs nice and evenly and then throwing them under a broiler. But as I said earlier, a nice hot oven or an air fryer would work just as well. In an oven, I'd bake these at about 200 degrees Celsius for 25 to 30 minutes. In an air fryer, I'd go for about 180 degrees for about 20 minutes. Under the broiler, I'm giving it about 8 minutes on one side, then turning each of the ribs over, rotating the tray, and doing about 8 minutes on the other side. Ow! I forgot this oven mitt has a great big hole in it. Well, while they cook the rest of the way, I'm going to go run my hand under some water. Now these are looking pretty good. The corn is starting to get a little bit of a char, which I like, but you don't want to take this too far and burn the spices. So I think it's best to pull them out now. And then in order to finish them off and give them a nice lively zing, I'm giving them a generous squeeze of lime juice. This little hit of fresh acidity really lifts all of the flavours and brings it all together. And then to serve, I'm just making a nice little stack on a plate, garnishing with whatever green stuff you happen to have on hand. I'm using garlic chives, and then adding a few extra wedges of lime so that you can keep adding a little bit more as you go. And I think that is a pretty attractive looking snack or appetizer. If you've ever had a chance to try these at Fallow Restaurant, let me know down in the comments if you think I got it even close to being right. Now let's have a taste. So to eat these, you just pick them up by the corn cob and nibble the corn off just like you're eating a pork rib. And these are so good. The sweetness of the corn goes beautifully with all of those savoury spices, the little bit of char gives a slight smoky edge, and the lime brightens everything up and brings it to life. I really do think the lime is critical to this. I did find myself wanting to squeeze a little bit extra on every bite. If you're looking for another snack or entree recipe, check out this one. Or if you'd like another corn recipe, this one here is particularly saucy. Until next time, happy snacking.